Hello everyone, welcome back to IndianCoding.com. Today we will learn about CSS. So let's see what is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS is the language we use to style an HTML document. It defines how HTML elements should be displayed. This tutorial will teach you the basics of CSS. It describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work and it can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. So there are three types of CSS. First is the inline CSS, second is the internal CSS, and the last one is the external CSS. So let's see what is inline CSS. In case of inline CSS, an inline style may be used to apply a unique style for a single element. For example, you can see on screen, I have already mentioned one heading over here. So within this heading tag, I have mentioned one text that is hello everyone. So CSS, as I told you, CSS means it used to apply a unique style for a single element. So for styling this attribute, that is hello everyone, we have to add one attribute over here. So that is style. So let me add style over here. So within the style attribute, whatever changes you need to require, you have to mention this in style attribute. So for example, I need to change the color of the text. So that is color. You can add any color. For example, I'll add maroon. Now I added maroon color in this. So I will save this file and run this code. Now you can see on web page that heading is over here and that is also in maroon color because inside the style attribute I mentioned the color as maroon. So our text will be visible in maroon color. Now the second one we are having is internal CSS. An internal style sheet may be used if one single HTML page has a unique style. The internal style is defined inside the style element. So for example, if you want to make some changes in internal style, you have to add style tag. You can see that in case of inline style, I mentioned the style attribute over here in h1 tag. But in case of internal, you have to mention the separate style for that. So for example, now you can see here, I have mentioned the style attribute. Here, the style tag is already mentioned for the h2 tag. And in case of h2 tag, we are having the heading Indian coding. So here the coding context is Indian coding. And if we want to style the h2, we have to add separate tag for the style. So again, I'll save this file and reload this page. So now you can see the h2 tag is here, that is Indian coding. It is in green color. So that is the difference between internal and inline CSS. The last CSS is the external CSS. So what is external CSS? In case of external CSS, with an external style sheet, you can change the look of the entire website by changing just one file. So for that, we have to include one more file over here. For that, again, we will go to the file and we'll go to new text file. Here I got a new text file. Again, I have to save this file. So we will save this file as a particular name. So you can give any name to it. For example, I'll give style. And again, we have to mention any extension over here. For CSS, we have to mention the extension CSS. So I'll mention CSS over here. So now enter. Now we got this file page as a CSS file. So whatever you need to mention over here, for example, I mention one page here, that is H3. Now mention any text. Hi. If you want to style this, you have to add some CSS in it. So if I mention anything over here in style, it will not affect to this text because this CSS is not linked with our HTML file. For linking this to each other, we have to mention one link tag over here. So here you can see the REL is the style sheet, and in reference we have to give the address of it. So our address is style.css. So now we link the HTML file to the CSS. So if you want to make changes in hi and here in h3 tag, we have to mention that tag here, same as the internal one. So now mention h3 bracket and what color you want. Choose any color, for example blue. Save this file and reload it. Now you can see the h3 tag, which is the context hi, is coming in a blue color because in first HTML file you mentioned h3 tag. Within this the context is hi. So if you want to style this, you have to add one more file, that is CSS. In CSS, you can write the tag name, and within this tag name, you can write all kind of styles you want to change. So here I mentioned the color blue. That's why the output is coming as a blue color. So these are the three types of CSS we are having. So now we clear that if we create any number of files into this folder, you can do styling on this CSS page by giving just name of the tag. So that's all for today's class. Tomorrow we will learn about more features related to HTML. Thank you so much.